This doesn't mean that they are like better players. Let's say they both started at zero and they have the same amount of talent, put in the same amount of hours. The learning curves of the races are going to be different. Basically, when you have 3 races, you're designing 3 games inside the game. And to expect Blizzard to be able to control these learning curves precisely, that they are have the exact same speed, that is just too hard. I mean, we can expect them to design a game that is balanced. That's what we all hope for. But to control the learning curves exactly so that at every point in the game, players of of similar talent and similar practice hours are going to be at the same level. That is too much to ask from any company, any gaming manufacturer. It's impossible. So you see Terrans making less mistakes than Zerg and Protoss. It could mean that there is a balance issue, but it could also mean that Zerg is simply harder to play. And when you talk to Zerg players, and when you see how the race needs to be played, like let's say you have a Terran mule, you can neglect mules for a while, stock the energy, and then dump 5 of them and have like a good economy. On the other side, if you look at Zerg and creep tumors, for example, which are like crucial to their game, and players don't really have full control over them yet. They're definitely not playing ideally yet for the creep tumor part. But then a creep tumor, you have to do it. What is it, like every 20-30 seconds?
15,
if you wait 2 minutes, that doesn't mean you can just spawn 5 of them, right? So you can see that the Zerg requires harder mechanics. But the way it might be is that that Terran will reach its maximum level a lot faster than Zerg will do, and that in itself you can claim as an imbalance. But in the end, what I want for Blizzard to do is for this game to be balanced at the top level, and not if they balance it right now. Let's say they make Zerg better, stronger, whatever. Then you could see a year from now, if indeed it's true that Terran reaches its maximum earlier, that Zerg is winning every tournament. And then they have a big problem. They have to undo what they did before, and that way they can keep going back and forth based on learning curves. So if Blizzard actually thinks that Zerg is harder to play, but that they will end up being equals, then that would imply that they're not going to do anything about it. So the balancing issue is very complicated, and I feel that people just look at it with a way too simplistic view of things. Like just they lose games as Zerg in ladder, and that's it. That's the reason for them to claim imbalance. It's not that simple. So yeah, it's very hard.
Indeed it is, but it's also a very interesting question. We'll definitely have to see, and based on Brood War experience, it takes years and years to figure out how to do things. Yet we saw even a year ago in the top Korean pro scene, new things were being figured out. Small, tiny things that made a lot of difference among the most skilled players. So it will be an interesting time ahead, especially if you believe in the word metagame. However, I told you guys before we started I tried to keep this over half an hour, and now we're closing in on a full hour. So before we round things off, I'd like to ask both of you, and perhaps Nazgul in particular, since you have most contact with the players, are there any fun anecdotes, stories, or shameful moments you'd like to share from the Liquid OGS house, considering TLO, Jinro, and the others? Something for the community to laugh at.
There are a bunch of funny stories. It was just funny, and there's a bunch of things that were happening, and we had a great time. It was really fun meeting those guys and hanging out together. And I hope they're gonna do really well.
So do we all. We look forward to hearing even more from the Liquid guys over there, especially shameful moments. But I believe you guys have a few things you might want to hint at the very least, if not announce, in terms of the future. A little bird told me something about Liquid getting new jerseys that are looking very cool, and there's something about a website, ...
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on jerseys. Although the TeamLiquid.net shirts that we have in our store are awesome as well. They're not really sports jerseys in such a manner, and we just want to look a little bit more professional when we're playing on TV. So we've been working hard on that together with Kanajit, who is on an amazing job. The design seems to be finished right now, and we'll start producing them for the players as soon as possible.
That's cool, and maybe in some distant or not so distant future, fans could even buy such jerseys of their own. Potentially, is that part of the ambition?
Yeah. If there's interest for that, I mean, of course, that's a few more steps down the road. But if we feel that there is significant interest in from the users to buy these, then I mean, why not? It sounds pretty cool to me.
I think it sounds pretty cool to a lot of people. And someone also said something about the Liquid clan, the actual playing team. Will be getting a website of their own.
Yeah. That's a project that's a little bit less developed right now, but we're working on it. We want to have a place where people can read about our players, our guys, our sponsors, to read their blogs, to read their news, all that stuff, in a little bit more well, how do you say, like, specified site, like on teamliquid.net. We'll do both, right? So they're going to be integrated in a way. But for people that are interested in actually the players team itself, we're going to have a place where they can look up stuff a little bit easier. It's going to have a calendar with all the dates and events of where the players are playing in. So if they want to follow the team, it should be a lot easier in the future.
That's great to hear. I think many people will love for that opportunity to happen. So all great news in the making. Turning to Mathew with the little app factory that has so many nifty solutions to software issues. Anything new exciting coming out of your machine?
Nothing I can talk about, but definitely when I'm going to the United States for business, we're working on a new project then. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that's great to hear indeed. Anything else you honourable gentlemen would like to mention as we're going into our 60th minute of this interview?
No, I think we're good. You covered most of the important things.
Yeah. Except that I believe Ensnare is currently winning, so that's great for OGS.
Yes, of course. We should all be following the GSL closely, and those were the best $20 I invested in anything for a long time indeed. Definitely worth it all. So, gentlemen, it's been a great pleasure to have you on the show. It's been great to talk to the power behind Liquid, the sponsor, the team leader, both of you. It's truly great to see where things are going, and on behalf of the community, we're all very happy to be part of it as spectators. So thank you very much for doing what you do, and do keep it up.
All right, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure indeed. Until next time, stay mannered and keep on gaming.
All right, thanks.
GG for now. So, I'm glad you made it. That's quite a long interview, but I'd like to think that it offered a lot of value as well. They had a lot to say, Victor Goossens and Mathew Peterson, and I'm very glad that PolygonReview.com could offer the opportunity for them to say it. It's an interesting time to be a nerd right now. It's an interesting time to be in love with StarCraft. And these two guys definitely are, and I know that so are you, especially if you watched a whole hour of that interview. You should definitely check out the game that was going on in the background. Link is in the description box. Casted by Husky, involving almost all the Liquid players and one hell of a lot of action and hilarity. So I'd like to hear what you think. We brought up a lot of stuff. Hopefully some of it interesting. What are your responses in terms of esports with StarCraft 2 in the middle becoming a long-lasting and regulated sport in the full sense of the word? Can that be done? Should it be done? Does it need more organization within the YouTube commentator scene, or are you enjoying this free-for-all that's currently going on? Let me know in the comments, indeed on the Team Liquid forums. If you are a Team Liquid user, do follow the link in the description, and feel free to boost the thread. Also, I'm on Facebook. That's where the true discussion magic happens. Facebook.com/Polygon Review. Now, as you can say, I'm a bit speeded up because it's intense, man. But I'd also like to do a final shout out to a very new and interesting Swedish initiative called gamertv.eu. It is, of course, in Swedish, but it features the very best we got, including Morrow, and it's a very, very, it's a tournament featuring the best of our country, and you should definitely check it out if you speak Swedish or just like the way it sounds. It's an awesome site that I think got a lot of potential. Hopefully we can do some more collaborations in the future. Okay, it's been a long broadcast. I'm very happy to now say GG, and I'll see you guys very soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Signing off.